The moment DJ Akademiks spoke, the room went silent. Well, at least for anyone paying attention to the real stakes. Because this wasn't just another gossip clip or headline. No, this was a warning so sharp, so pointed, that anyone watching Wack 100 closely might have felt chills. Feds watching? Allegiances being tested? Careers hanging in the balance? This isn't speculation. This is the kind of tension that changes how the industry moves behind the scenes. Wack 100 has always been a polarizing figure, outspoken, influential, and unafraid to push boundaries. But when Akademiks put the spotlight on you and whisper that federal eyes might be on your every move, the game suddenly becomes serious. It's no longer about Instagram clout, diss tracks, or social media spats. It's about survival, strategy, and knowing how to navigate a world where one misstep can have consequences far beyond the music. Fans and insiders alike were left stunned. Social media exploded with reactions, debates, and speculation. Was it just a dramatic take for views? Or is there a deeper truth lurking in Akademiks' words? Everyone knows that in the rap game, warnings like this aren't random. They carry weight. And when the stakes involve federal scrutiny, suddenly loyalty, alliances, and past actions are under a microscope. This story isn't just about drama. It's about understanding the real pressure behind the headlines, the moves you make when the world is watching, and the consequences of being in the crosshairs. And for Wack 100, the clock is ticking. As soon as DJ Akademiks delivered the warning, the entire tone of the conversation changed. This wasn't casual commentary. This wasn't a clip to stir clout. This was a serious, calculated alert, a reminder that in the rap world, words can have consequences far beyond social media likes or YouTube views. Wack 100 has long been known as one of the most outspoken figures in hip-hop. He's a strategist, a promoter, and someone unafraid to challenge even the biggest names in the game. But when Akademiks hinted that federal attention might be watching, the stakes skyrocketed. Suddenly, every move Wack 100 has ever made, every business decision, every public spat, every association, was being analyzed under a lens sharper than ever. Behind the scenes, industry insiders were already taking note. In the world of rap, reputation is everything. But when potential legal scrutiny is involved, reputation alone can't protect you. DJ Akademiks, with his finger always on the pulse, wasn't just speculating, he was signaling that certain actions carry real-world consequences. And for someone like Wack 100, whose influence stretches across artists, labels, and street networks, that kind of attention can create waves that impact not just him, but everyone connected to him. Fans immediately flooded social media with reactions. Clips of Akademiks' warning went viral, memes were created, and debate threads exploded across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. People questioned the legitimacy of the warning. Was it dramatic for clicks, or was there a kernel of truth? In hip-hop, skepticism is natural, but those in the know recognize the gravity. Akademiks rarely speaks without context, and when he does, people listen. Consider the environment. Hip-hop has always been a high-stakes world where alliances are constantly tested and loyalty is a currency just as valuable as fame or money. But when potential legal scrutiny enters the mix, it adds a whole new dimension. Suddenly, decisions that might have seemed minor, like public comments, social media posts, or business partnerships, become matters of survival. Akademiks' warning was a wake-up call, one careless move, and the consequences aren't just reputational, they could be legal. Wack 100's history in the industry makes this even more intense. He's built a network of artists and collaborators over years, many of whom rely on his insight and influence. If federal eyes are indeed paying attention, the ripple effect extends far beyond him personally. Contracts, negotiations, and even ongoing disputes could be influenced by the scrutiny of authorities. In other words, this isn't just a story about drama, it's about the very structure of the modern rap game and who controls the narrative when the stakes are real. Insiders close to the situation say that moments like these aren't uncommon, but they are rarely publicized. The industry often handles such matters quietly, behind closed doors, through lawyers, advisors, and trusted confidants. Akademiks' decision to bring it into the public eye was unusual, but intentional. By doing so, he not only warned Wack 100 but also highlighted a reality many fans don't see. Hip-hop isn't just about music, it's about strategy, awareness, and survival under constant scrutiny. For Wack 100, the implications are enormous. Every interaction, past and present, must now be considered in light of potential federal interest. Every public appearance, social media post, and business deal could be interpreted differently. What might have seemed like harmless commentary or online banter can suddenly take on new significance. In this context, Akademiks' warning isn't fear-mongering, it's a signal to tread carefully. The response from fans was immediate and polarizing. Some viewed it as a dramatic move designed to generate views, arguing that DJ Akademiks frequently amplifies controversies for attention. Others, particularly those familiar with the inner workings of the industry, understood the seriousness. Federal scrutiny isn't something to joke about, especially for figures with wide-reaching influence in both music and street networks. This warning, therefore, served as both a cautionary tale and a cultural moment, a glimpse behind the curtain at the high-stakes game of hip-hop politics. What's even more intriguing is how this impacts relationships across the industry. Wack 100's associates, artists, and collaborators are all indirectly affected by the warning. In hip-hop, loyalty and alliances are fragile. When legal or federal attention is implied, these dynamics can shift overnight. Those who were once allies may reconsider associations. Those who were silent might become more vocal. The landscape changes not because of music, but because of awareness and perception, both critical in an environment where every action is observed, analyzed, and judged. Analysts and commentators began dissecting Akademiks' words almost immediately. Questions arose. Was this warning based on specific events? Was it a preemptive caution based on patterns he's seen in the industry? Or was it simply a method to stir debate and engagement? Regardless of the answer, one thing was clear: this moment put Wack 100 under an intense spotlight, whether intended or not. And that spotlight has consequences. Hip-hop has always thrived on visibility, but visibility also attracts scrutiny. Every move, past or present, can become material for judgment. For Wack 100, Akademiks' warning signals a shift from ordinary public attention to something more serious. The difference between a viral headline and potential federal attention is immense, and the stakes cannot be overstated. This story also reveals a deeper lesson about influence in hip-hop. Public figures like Wack 100 operate in a network where every action is magnified. Loyalty, alliances, and reputation intersect with legal and business realities in ways the general audience rarely sees. By publicly issuing this warning, Akademiks highlighted the reality that influence comes with responsibility, and mistakes or missteps can carry consequences far beyond the music charts. In the coming days, the ripple effect of this warning became even more pronounced. Fans dissected old interviews, clips, and social media posts, trying to determine what might have triggered federal interest. The online conversation became a mix of speculation, debate, and fascination. Those familiar with the industry, however, understood that Akademiks' words were rarely casual. This wasn't just a story for clicks, it was a reflection of the real pressures that top-tier figures in hip-hop face daily. It was clear that this situation wasn't just about Wack 100. It was about hip-hop culture at large, about how influence, loyalty, and awareness intersect in an industry where stakes are high and missteps are costly. DJ Akademiks' warning wasn't just a comment, it was a catalyst for conversation, analysis, and reflection, shining a light on the hidden challenges that shape the careers and decisions of those at the top. As the warning echoed through social media, Wack 100 found himself in uncharted territory. DJ Akademiks' words weren't just commentary, they were a public spotlight, shining on him in a way that could influence not only his reputation, but also his network of artists and collaborators. Suddenly, a world that often celebrated bravado and bold statements became a place where every move was scrutinized under a magnifying glass. Wack 100 is no stranger to conflict. Over the years, he's built a persona as a strategist, promoter, and outspoken voice in hip-hop. But this was different. This wasn't just fans or critics debating his moves online. This was Akademiks hinting that federal eyes might be monitoring him, a notion that instantly elevated the stakes. Every past action, every public statement, and every alliance suddenly took on new meaning. Immediately after the clip went viral, social media exploded. Twitter threads dissected every nuance of Akademiks' statement, TikTok users chopped the video into reaction clips, and Instagram pages highlighted his warning with bold captions. Fans debated endlessly. Was this serious? Was it exaggeration? Or was there truth lurking beneath the surface? For Wack 100, the online conversation was a double-edged sword. On one hand, it reminded people of his influence. On the other, it amplified scrutiny in a way that could not be ignored. Behind the scenes, his inner circle scrambled. Associates, artists under his guidance, and collaborators began discussing what this warning meant. Even if it was just speculation, the mere suggestion of federal attention forced recalibration. Decisions that might have been simple days ago, like public appearances, social media posts, or business moves, now required careful planning. Every step could be interpreted as incriminating or strategic. In the modern hip-hop landscape, perception is often as important as reality. Industry insiders were watching closely. The music business thrives on image, influence, and perception, and a federal angle introduces new stakes entirely. Executives, label representatives, and promoters knew that any hint of legal scrutiny could affect negotiations, partnerships, and even chart performance indirectly. For someone like Wack 100, who operates at the intersection of street credibility and mainstream influence, the pressure was intense. Every reaction, from public statements to private strategy meetings, had weight. Wack 100's immediate response was cautious, but firm. According to sources close to him, he began consolidating information, reaching out to trusted contacts, and assessing the potential implications. His public statements, while measured, were carefully worded to acknowledge the warning without escalating it. The goal was clear: maintain credibility while avoiding unnecessary heat, both online and behind the scenes. Meanwhile, the fan reaction created its own ecosystem of tension. Memes, debates, and speculation posts flooded timelines. Some fans saw Akademiks as overdramatizing, accusing him of stirring controversy for clicks. Others treated the warning as gospel, suggesting that Wack 100 needed to respond carefully to protect his legacy. Every comment section became a microcosm of the larger debate about loyalty, street influence, and accountability in hip-hop culture. What made the situation even more volatile was the nature of Wack 100's relationships. He isn't just an individual player, he's a connector. Artists, promoters, and collaborators rely on his insight, alliances, and decisions. Any perceived vulnerability could create a domino effect, affecting not only his reputation, but also the careers and credibility of those connected to him. This is the reality that Akademiks' warning brought into sharp focus. Influence comes with responsibility, and scrutiny can travel faster than fame. Adding another layer to the drama, industry analysts began speculating about the timing and context of Akademiks' warning. Was it prompted by recent disputes, patterns in Wack 100's behavior, or insider knowledge? While no concrete evidence surfaced publicly, the suggestion of federal observation added credibility to the story in the eyes of fans and commentators. In the rap game, perception often drives influence, and the mere hint of legal attention can alter narratives for weeks or months. As the online storm raged, Wack 100's calculated approach became more apparent. Instead of lashing out or denying the warning outright, he focused on reinforcing alliances, consolidating information, and strategically positioning himself for any potential consequences. In hip-hop, this is the subtle art of survival, controlling the narrative without overexposing oneself, balancing visibility with caution. Akademiks' words may have been public, but Wack 100's response was quietly methodical. The social media ripple effect also highlighted a generational shift in the culture. Fans who grew up with viral drama understood immediacy. They reacted in real time, dissecting every clip, quote, and nuance. But veterans and insiders recognized the long game. This moment wasn't just about clicks. It was about strategy, alliances, and reputation management, and those who could navigate it successfully would emerge stronger. Meanwhile, collaborators and peers were watching closely. Some reached out privately to discuss implications, while others observed silently, analyzing Wack 100's moves to understand potential risks and opportunities. In an environment where loyalty is currency and perception drives power, every relationship mattered. Akademiks' warning wasn't just a headline, it was a real-world test of Wack 100's influence and resilience. In terms of industry impact, executives noted the importance of controlling exposure. Federal scrutiny, even implied, affects not just the individual, but also partnerships, sponsorships, and media narratives. Artists who fail to navigate these moments strategically risk losing leverage, credibility, and opportunities. Wack 100's response, therefore, had to balance street authenticity with industry awareness, a delicate act that few manage flawlessly. Finally, this incident underscores a broader lesson for fans and artists alike. Loyalty, influence, and credibility in hip-hop are constantly tested, often in public and under intense scrutiny. Akademiks' warning served as both a caution and a reflection of modern dynamics, where visibility is instantaneous and missteps are magnified. For Wack 100, it became a moment to demonstrate not only his street savvy, but also his ability to survive under pressure. The landscape was clear. The warning had created tension, forced strategic recalibration, and sparked widespread debate. But it also set the stage for the next chapter, the long-term consequences of this attention, the shifting alliances, and how the story would shape perceptions of loyalty, influence, and survival in hip-hop. As the dust settled from DJ Akademiks' explosive warning, it became clear that the situation was far from over. Wack 100 was no longer just navigating casual online drama. He was dealing with a potentially career-altering spotlight, one that could impact not only his reputation, but also the network of artists, collaborators, and business associates that rely on him. In the world of hip-hop, influence is currency, but influence under scrutiny is a test of survival. Behind closed doors, Wack 100 began strategizing immediately. The warning was a signal that attention, both public and institutional, was watching his every move. Sources close to him report that he started reassessing partnerships, revisiting ongoing negotiations, and reviewing public statements and social media activity. In the rap game, where alliances shift as quickly as viral trends, controlling the narrative became his top priority. This was no longer a story about clicks or gossip. It was about reputation, strategy, and long-term influence. Fans, naturally, continued the debate. Social media amplified the stakes even further. Memes, reaction videos, and commentary dissected every nuance of Wack 100's actions. Every appearance, every Instagram post, and every subtle remark became fodder for speculation. For younger fans, this felt like another viral moment, but for those embedded in the culture, it was a case study in how real-world consequences intersect with digital perception. The industry, too, was paying attention. Labels, promoters, and collaborators recognized the implications of even a hint of federal scrutiny. Deals and endorsements can hinge on perception, and while Wack 100's influence remained intact, the warning highlighted how fragile public image can be. Strategic silence, measured statements, and selective visibility became essential tools. Unlike typical online feuds, this scenario had the potential to ripple into business and street credibility, making it critical that every action was deliberate. Interestingly, the warning also caused a subtle shift in alliances. Some artists and collaborators became more cautious, choosing to distance themselves from public debates. Others strengthened their ties with Wack 100, signaling loyalty in the face of external pressure. This dynamic showcased a truth often overlooked by casual observers. Loyalty in hip-hop isn't tested in quiet times, it's tested under scrutiny, when consequences are real and visibility is high. The cultural impact of Akademiks' warning also cannot be understated. It sparked debates not just about Wack 100's actions, but also about the broader responsibilities of public figures in hip-hop. Loyalty, influence, and accountability suddenly became central topics. Fans and commentators dissected what it means to hold power in the music industry, to maintain credibility, and to survive under the combined weight of public and institutional attention. For Wack 100, handling this storm wasn't just about self-preservation. It was a demonstration of how to navigate pressure with intelligence and foresight. By avoiding rash decisions and carefully managing public appearances, he showcased the kind of strategic thinking that separates legends from transient stars. It wasn't about denying the warning or dismissing its severity. It was about responding in a way that reinforced credibility while minimizing unnecessary risk. Meanwhile, DJ Akademiks' role in this saga reinforced his position as a central figure in hip-hop media and commentary. By issuing a public warning, he reminded the culture that some dynamics in the industry aren't just about music, they're about perception, influence, and strategic foresight. Akademiks' commentary sparked conversation, debate, and reflection, proving that media figures can shape not just narratives, but the real-world consequences of those narratives. As the weeks passed, it became evident that the ripple effects of this warning extended beyond Wack 100 and Akademiks. The broader hip-hop community observed the situation closely, learning lessons about loyalty, alliances, and the careful balance between public visibility and private strategy. The saga highlighted how even subtle signals, comments from media figures, social media interactions, and past affiliations can become critical factors in the survival of careers. Fans who once saw hip-hop purely as entertainment began to appreciate the complex interplay between power, influence, and accountability. Loyalty was no longer just a buzzword. It became a measurable currency, tested in real time through scrutiny, pressure, and the reactions of peers and audiences alike. For aspiring artists and longtime observers, the Wack 100 warning was a masterclass in the invisible rules that govern the culture. Even Wack 100's closest allies acknowledged the seriousness of the situation. While public statements remained measured, private conversations revealed that this was a wake-up call, a reminder that influence carries responsibilities that go beyond music, social media, or reputation. Every decision, from collaborations to appearances, now had to be considered in light of potential scrutiny, both digital and institutional. In the end, the DJ Akademiks warning achieved several things simultaneously. It forced Wack 100 to recalibrate, emphasizing the importance of strategy under pressure. It highlighted the fragility of reputation in modern hip-hop, showing how perception can rival reality in significance. It sparked public discourse about loyalty, influence, and accountability in ways that went far beyond the original warning. By framing the situation as both a cautionary tale and a reflection of industry realities, this moment became more than just viral content. It became a reference point for understanding how power, strategy, and survival operate in the hip-hop ecosystem. As the smoke cleared, the lessons were clear. Influence must be managed, alliances must be respected, and loyalty must be proven under pressure. For Wack 100, this wasn't the end of a story. It was the beginning of a new chapter in his career, one defined not just by his past successes, but by how he navigates scrutiny, maintains credibility, and upholds influence when the stakes are real. And for the culture, it served as a reminder that hip-hop isn't just entertainment. It's a high-stakes world where strategy, loyalty, and perception shape legacies, influence, and survival. DJ Akademiks' warning wasn't merely commentary. It was a lesson in awareness, timing, and the unseen pressures that govern one of the world's most influential music industries. In the next moments, fans, artists, and commentators alike would continue to dissect this saga. But the truth is simple. Those who understand the game know that warnings like this are not just words, they are signals, and in hip-hop, signals can shape history. The takeaway? Loyalty, foresight, and strategic thinking aren't optional, they're essential. And for anyone navigating the high-pressure world of hip-hop, knowing when to listen, when to act, and how to manage scrutiny is what separates those who endure from those who fade into obscurity. DJ Akademiks' warning to Wack 100 will be remembered not just as drama, it will be remembered as a case study in influence, survival, and the unseen rules of the game, a story that illustrates the delicate balance of power, loyalty, and strategy in modern hip-hop. Before you scroll past, think about this for a second. How often do warnings like this actually carry weight? In hip-hop, every word, every move, and every alliance can be under scrutiny. DJ Akademiks didn't just drop a hot take, he issued a warning that could have real consequences for Wack 100, and anyone paying attention knows this isn't just an online drama. If this story shocked you, if it made you rethink loyalty, strategy, and influence in the game, hit that like button so others can see it too. And don't forget to subscribe, because we break down moments that go beyond headlines, the kind of behind-the-scenes truths that shape the culture, influence careers, and sometimes even attract legal attention. Now it's your turn. Comment below. Do you think Wack 100 handled this warning the right way? Was Akademiks' warning justified, or just hype for clicks? We read every comment, and your opinions drive the conversation. Also, share this video with someone real, someone who understands that loyalty, strategy, and credibility are tested when the pressure is highest. Someone who knows that in hip-hop, surviving the spotlight is just as important as shining in it. More stories like this are coming, drama, strategy, and lessons from the streets and the industry that the mainstream won't fully explain. Stay locked in, stay aware, and remember, real ones always listen and learn.